Hey team, and welcome. I'm your host, Carrie, creator of Mother Life, your destination for all things real talk and parenting. This is the IRL group chat, where we talk about the wild balancing act of pursuing careers and passions while also doing our best to show up for our kids. Join me every week as I sit down with some badass parents in my closet and we talk about their careers, kids, and relationships and all of the weird shit that comes up when you're trying to balance the seemingly impossible. Community. We are living in a time in human history where humans are more connected to each other, literally, than ever before, and on a more expansive scale than ever before. And yet, we're also the loneliest we've ever been. That's because community is something you feel, you experience, you're embraced by. It's hard, not impossible, but hard to do that simply as a spectator from your phone. Today's guest has had me thinking a lot about community because finding quality community might be her superpower. She's figured out how to channel all of the things she loves most and turn them into little technicolor worlds of people uplifting and celebrating each other. What's so clear from her story is that chasing the things she truly loved has led her to people with shared passions and sensibility. The forming community piece has almost been an accidental byproduct for her. Do the things you love or that you need to be you, and the community will follow. Thinking about this a bit further, I realized the opposite might also be true. Chasing community simply for the sake of belonging might be a bit like chasing a rainbow. It looks beautiful, but you can't really reach it. I think the message that comes through loud and clear from this episode is do what you love. And when it's hard with little kids around, carve out a tiny sliver of time in any way you can just to remind yourself who you are, without all the noise. Because having hobbies is like sanity insurance. It's a small way of investing in who you are for the long run. Today's guest is so good at building authentic community that it accidentally became her professional calling. Erika Curtis is the Senior Director of Community and Partnerships at Tubby, Todd, Bath Co. Her long and winding road to corporate girly started post-college, singing in Japan for Disney. So how'd she get from point A to point B? Let's find out. Enjoy, share with a friend, check out the show notes for some excellent Erika shenanigans. This is a fun one. That doesn't look good.
It's disgusting. It's a double protein shot. So it's
in
50 grams of just like chalky ass protein, and then creatine because I'm a meathead.
Also a meathead, but
it's gross. Sometimes I put coffee in it, and then it's like, and sometimes I put athletic greens in it.
Which is disgusting. I mean,
and then you just had to power through this little, that's 30. That's great too.
This is good. And then I put 28 in my coffee in the morning. Mm-hmm. And then look at where we're starting our day.
This is how you know that we're of a certain age, because we're talking about protein already.
It's true.
Anyway, a lot. It's hard. It's a full-time job.
Before we start, favorite childhood meal?
Oh my God. Favorite childhood meal. My mom made that, like, this is just what's coming to mind, like I think it's like a big beef stew. And then on top, there are like those biscuits, like the pull apart biscuits, and they cook on it. And
are you from the Midwest? Where are you from?
I'm from San Diego, but I was raised Mormon, so there's a lot of like, a lot of like casserole. I'm the oldest of four, and my mom's a good cook.
Yes.
So actually,
I was about to say this is very like stick to your bones kind of food you're describing.
For sure. Yes. And like always in a platter, like enchiladas in a plat. Like it's always like there's a lot of them, and we're gonna eat them all week. My brother is in the food industry, and he like is infamous for like throwing my mom under the bus on a podcast or something, saying that they ate a lot of fish sticks as kids. We ate a lot of fish
I bet
sticks.
she was fucking pissed if I was your mom.
Like, what? I mean, to be fair, yeah, sometimes we ate fish sticks, which are
who
kind of delicious. But yeah. I was like, and then I did another one. I did a podcast with, what is that? Monica and David Ferrier.
Oh yeah, they're flightless birds.
Yes, and the subject matter was frozen foods. Which I also realize I do so much frozen. I mean, I'm like a Trader Joe's hoe. Like just all the frozen things.
All
like,
the hacks,
Things need to happen in 10 minutes or less. I don't love to cook. So.
Yeah.
But anyways, and then I said something about my mom and frozen foods. I'm like, oh, my poor mom.
What's your mom's name?
Cindy.
Justice for Cindy.
That's right. Justice for Cindy. I know.
Could you imagine? Well, I remember giving my mom a lot of shit for like the halfway hacks to things. Like she would buy like the cut up veggie, like obviously all the shit I'm doing now, but I just remember being like, Mom, it's more expensive. Or like,
totally,
Mom, like that has extra stuff in it. Like buying pre-made mashed potatoes, and then she would add her own stuff into it. I'm like, Mom, like,
I love it. I mean, now we have Trader Joe's and they've done it for us.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm putting like even the pastas that I make, like gnocchis or frozen, they're frozen. Yeah. I'm putting them into a pan and that's it.
Or the other big contentious thing, this was at my dad's house, my parents are divorced. My dad would like, if there was a block of cheese and it had a little spot of mold, he would like cut that off. And me and my siblings would be like, we're not fucking eating that. It's garbage now. And now I'm like, that block of cheese costs $20.
I would do that in my house, yes. I would do that with a piece of bread, maybe. Like just pull off the corner and then put it in the toaster. I'm like, my husband is so type A. He's always like, would you eat this? Like something in the fridge that's probably gone bad. And I'm like,
guy. Yeah.
Yep, I sure would. Yeah, I would eat it.
He regularly will be like, can you smell this? Can you taste this? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, we've both established that my bar is much lower than yours. So
just eat it.
Just
if
eat it.
If it tastes gross, probably don't eat it.
Well, I often am like, you know what? If you're asking me the question, don't eat it because I don't want to deal with you when you're in gastrointestinal distress because it will somehow be my fault.
That's right. Yeah.
So just don't eat it.
No.
Anyway, welcome to the closet,
Thank
Erika.
You.
So you've got the general gist of what we're gonna do. We're gonna start in San Diego with little Erika. She finished the protein drink.
Success, y'all. It's that nasty bit. It's gone. I did it. That's it. And we're starting our day with however many grams.
Oh my God. You know what? How many do you try and get in a day? Before we get into
try and get 130.
You're a petite lady.
That.
Okay, but you're like all muscle. I've seen your dance videos.
That's what I hope. Yeah,
yes.
That muscle weighs a lot.
It does.
Yes, that's the goal.
So you're doing the 1-to-1.
Yeah, it's awful.
Yeah. Well, now that I like,
what are you doing?
I weigh like 150 pounds, and that's a lot of protein. So I am like, 130 seems reasonable. Okay, so we're gonna start with little Erika.
Yes.
And we're gonna get to the woman today, mother, badass career professional, lover of hobbies.
Yes, many a hobby.
Wife also.
Yeah. That
we'll get to all of those things, but we're going to kind of go on a path because I think you get to a place, especially with you and all of your interests now, I feel like we're going to find them pretty early is my guess.
For sure.
So you were born in San Diego?
Yes, born in San Diego and moved a ton as a kid. Like every year.
Why are we moving?
My dad was in pharmaceutical sales in the beginning, and now he's like a pharmaceutical marketing exec. But so we moved to all of the hubs. We were like in Chicago, Arizona, San Diego, and then back to, like, we moved every year until 6th grade. And then we stayed in San Diego.
That's a lot of moving.
Yes.
And you have 3 siblings.
Yes.
We have an oldest child on the podcast today, everybody. Oldest of 4. Yeah. Okay.
And oldest grandkid, I think. Well, on one side, yeah. So it's a beast.
Are you do you subscribe to the stereotypes of first child?
Yes, 100%. Yes.
Okay. To this very day?
Yeah, for sure.
Because you present like creative. You present.
I am whimsical. Well, I used to work for Lululemon like forever and ever for a decade, and they're very like woo-woo. And we went up to this offsite, and they did our astrological whatever. They're like, "You're an Earth sign." I'm like, "The fuck I am! I'm a fire sign. Like if you know me, I'm obviously a fire sign." And as I've gotten older, I'm like, "Oh yeah, I like order. I like planning. I'm very creative, but I really love the like spreadsheet that helps get that creative work done." Really, like,
well said.
Efficiency is my love language.
Okay, so you would relate to somebody who we both know and a pod regular, So Super Sam.
Yes.
It's very similar, very creative, also fucks with a spreadsheet.
That's right.
Okay, got it. Okay, so we have an oldest of 4. You guys are moving around a lot till you get to 6th grade. But, like, do you remember liking the moving around? Were you just like, we're doing this again?
Yeah.
Or was it just like, this is dad's job?
Yeah. Isn't it weird as an adult, like with kids, I'm like, I don't know how they did that. They had to like find a new, I don't know. I was into theater. My brothers played sports. Like I can't imagine. I'd have to find a new little league.
No.
That seems impossible. But I, as a child, I didn't love it. Like it was always like, I love these friends. The drama of being a little girl. But I think it definitely made me a specific kind of person. And eventually I started asking them if they would move in the middle of the year so I could be like the new.
Yeah, oh, totally.
Yes. I didn't want to come in with the new crop of new girls. I had to be the new girl.
It's like, ooh, who is she?
Oh, who's this girl?
I have never once in my life been described as mysterious.
Right.
Never once. Like it's full disclosure, TMI all of the time. And to have that moment just once.
Yes. I got kind of good at it too. Like I knew that you don't want to tell people you're moving until like the day you're moving because they just started like they stopped inviting you places and they like little kids. They're like don't want to play with you on the playground anymore because they're like, oh, she's moving.
So we should put you on Survivor.
That's
like
right.
I feel like you were learning social dynamics super young. How to play people to make sure that we're getting the end result that we want.
That's right.
And the intimacy and the closeness.
Yes. And then I'm like, by the way, I'm moving across the country tomorrow.
And I'll probably never see you again.
Never see
and
you,
we're
no.
gonna I guess in the later years you would have had like AIM. Like were you keeping in touch with these people?
Yeah, but no. It was before that. I had AIM, but not till like high school, I guess. What was your screen name?
Carrie Cool.
Mine was Drama Queen, the whole word, 525,600. So it would be like me chatting with some boy and they'd have like, cheapy lax bro or something. And mine would be the whole line. It would be just like all
incredible.
Boop, boop, boop. Yeah.
That's commitment, but also like very drama queen of you.
That's right.
Yeah. No, mine was just like, because I'm not mysterious, I'm going to just, I'm cool. So you don't have to make a value judgment. I'm telling you that I am.
You need to know about me.
Just move that I'm cool. Carrie Cool.
Yes.
Man, I do miss those days though. Tangentially of just like sitting with a friend and you're sitting and you're waiting for the modem and then it's like, okay, whose profile are you gonna be on? Do we need to make any updates to like our whatever main page profile? And then like what random fucking person are we gonna talk to thinking it's a person our age
insane.
Who's in love with us?
It's
like
absolutely insane.
Yeah.
I also would print out my AIM conversations with boys, like to bring to school to show to girlfriends, like look at what he said. Like you can't take a screen cap.
Literally
I would print them out.
Literally
and bring
receipts.
them to school. Yeah.
And your Mormon parents are like, Erika, why are we going through paper like this?
That's right. Yeah. Not allowed to date till I was 16. Yeah. All the rules.
So you're moving around a lot. Mm-hmm. I'm assuming your mom was working in the home because that's a lot of logistics to manage.
Yeah. Stay-at-home mom.
And was that sort of the dynamic that you saw everywhere, that like there were a lot of stay-at-home moms and dads were working?
Yeah, I think so. For sure, yeah. And my mom, I logistically, again, as now a person who both of us have careers, me and my husband, I'm like, how do you move? Like, in between jobs or whatever, I'd be like, oh, this job's in New York. Like, how the fuck?
No.
And then, like, what is he going to do? And what, just like the logistics. So, yes, my mom stayed at home and we moved a lot. And my dad traveled a lot, too.
What are the big things? It's like death, moving, and there's like another, basically, like moving is up there with like one of the worst things you could do to your relationship.
I mean, new friends? Oh, no, I could not now. But respect to my parents.
So do you think that they decided when you hit 6th grade, like, we're going to stay here?
Yes.
Because now Erika is at a point where she needs to be grounded.
Yeah, I think they were like, let's stop doing this to her and let her, and just like, even the hobbies get more serious at that point. Like, I was a theater kid. I was like, I'm going to be on Broadway since I was like 4. Like, that's what I thought I was going to do. And so, yeah, they were like, let's let her find a theater and let's let her like do her thing.
So your parents were totally supportive? Because I feel like there are some theater kids where parents are obviously always going to love their kids and support tangentially their hobbies. But like, were you like performing at dinner?
Yes. Oh, yes. We had one of those. I remember that our house had like, you could look down from the top of the banister.
Sure.
So it was like a stage, and I would make people sit on the couch. And my poor siblings, I would make them learn like all the choreography to Newsies. I'm 6 years older than them. So and 12 years of my sister. So I've got like, they're doing whatever the hell I want. I'm like, you guys are putting these newsboy caps on. No, you are not singing the solo. I am. Yeah, do the choreography. Also, like, very big into, like, Goofy movie. Everyone's learning this choreography. Yeah.
So funny.
I was a monster. I had to just be.
Now that you're a parent,
Yes.
and like, what, you've got 2 boys. I know they're very into sport. 2 boys, right?
Yeah.
And they're very into sports.
They're into sports.
And one of them's into dance, right?
Yes, one of them can dance, but not. Yes, he's a great dancer, but he's not what I was, which is like an annoying, child who wants everybody to like stand on a corner and sing and put a bucket out. Like,
Sure. Because I'm like, I don't know if I have it in me to give so many fucks to watch a performance right now. Right. And I'm sure, and I know like people they just moon over their children. Oh my God.
I know.
When it's terrible and they're still loving it. I want to totally foster and support my kids' interests, and also
it's a lot.
It's a lot.
Well, now the kids, like our little group of friends, we had like during the pandemic, we had like a very tight knit, because kind of had to with all the kids. There were 9 kids between the ages of like 3 and 9, I think at the time. Now they're all old. That's wild. But they would make movies, like iMovies.
That's cool.
And they're awful though.
Yeah.
They're horrible. And one of our friends, Eric, he would just be like, this is too long. Nope. The note for next time is you've got to edit this down. I'm not going to watch a 20-minute iMovie that is just, a bunch of kids running around.
Because they would make you all sit there and watch it and like get your popcorn.
Yes,
we're going to Sundance.
And we're sitting, and they've gotten way better. They're getting better and better at these movies, films.
The thing that I like about the film idea is like, there's more that they have to think about in terms of execution.
Yes.
Rather than just like forcing you to sit there and watch them do something.
Watch
it's like
sing Black Cat by Janet Jackson.
Honestly, do we have any of that? Your parents have to have.
My dad recently digitized everything, and I have to find it because it's like every play, every musical, all the things. But you were asking if they like fostered that. And I think
like they weren't rolling their eyes. They were into it.
No, they were into it. I think I was like a pretty talented little singer. And so they were like, okay, yeah, what are we doing for her? But I auditioned for The Parent Trap, like the movie with Lindsay Lohan. Actually, This is how much of a monster I am. I'm on a business trip with my dad, and it's an AIDS
Whose
convention.
business trip is it, quite frankly?
That's right. My business trip. He would take me once a year to New York to see shows, and because the drug that he was working with at the time was an HIV drug, it was in New York. It was very fun. It was like big gay fun.
Yeah.
So from an early age, I'm like, I love them.
Yeah, we love AIDS drugs.
And so we would go to New York, and I was at like a bagel shop near like the Javits Center or something. And my dad had been like, yeah, you can go get a bagel and come back. I'll be here. And I was talking to the woman, I guess, who owned the bagel shop, like telling her I was going to be on Broadway, telling her like all about myself. And these women are standing behind me, and they're like, hey, where's your dad? I'm like, he's in here. My dad. It's like just, again, a whole story. They're like, can we talk to him? And so I like led these women to my dad, and they're like, this is so random, but we're in town casting Parent Trap, and your daughter is the exact right age and
clearly interested.
I'm like, are we going to sing the song? They're like, well, there's no singing in this one. I'm like, well, could I sing? Could I? So they like take me to this audition. I end up going. Then they're like, oh, you live in San Diego. Can you drive up to Burbank? So my parents like drove me to Burbank. It was months and months. Lindsay Lohan, her mom are there. Like everybody is there. I did not get it, obviously. Lindsay Lohan got it. But, and then I was like, that's it. Mom and Dad, we're moving to Los Angeles. You're getting me an apartment. You're going to get,
How
like
old are you at this point?
Child actor. I'm like 11.
Okay, you have to listen to the Mike Karen episode, who's a director for Nickelodeon, on like Drake and Josh and all of those shows. You have to listen to that episode.
I joke that like my goal in life, I did want to be on Broadway, but I didn't want to grow up and be an actress. I wanted to be a child star. Like, it's not that I wanted to be an actress as an adult. I wanted to be on Nickelodeon. I wanted to. So anyways, but after that, they were like, you have to have a regular childhood. You can do as much theater as you want. There was a local theater group that ended up like being the best thing for me. They let me do all the shows, but I did think they were awful.
Right. Well, that's the thing is we talk about that on the Mike episode because, he was there with the Selena Gomez's and the Ariana Grandes and all these people. And I was just like, what? People end up having very different outcomes of doing this at a young age. And he was like, honestly, it comes down to the parents. Like,
And obviously the kids' motivation. Clearly you were thirsty as fuck.
yes.
Like you wanted to be out there.
Yeah.
But like, you know, what do the parents want for their kids and how much time they can dedicate to it, etc.
Well, it's before. It's like my mom's like, what am I gonna do? All the kids are just gonna. We can't do
come
that.
with you. And she's like, you're like, they were in Newsies. Like they can.
Hello, get them an agent too.
Yeah, just be a momager.
My little brothers are twins. That's great.
Identical?
No.
Less.
Not as appealing.
Less appealing.
I know.
Okay, so you've clearly got this thing in you. You had an inbuilt audience because you have a million siblings.
Correct.
And the Mormon piece of it. Now, was your family very religious in the church?
So my parents were very, very active. My mom is like a better version of me. She is so fun. She is so engaging. So she led like the youth groups. She's a party. And then, my dad, they were both super involved. And you kind of have to be in that religion. Like, everybody's got a job.
Very community.
So, we did everything. I went to seminary every day before school in high school. Like, we were in it. We were very much in it.
And so then what was your relationship like with the opposite sex? And Coca-Cola.
So I was a nerdy theater kid, and then I got big old boobs, like, I guess probably, I don't know, like, where'd they come from? Well, actually, I had prayed. I was never a child with much faith. I really, really wanted to believe it, and I really wanted to. Like, I saw people at church, like, crying and talking about how much they believed in this, and I, like, read everything. I read the Bible. I read the Book of Mormon. I read it again. Like, I'm like, I'm supposed to believe it, and I just really never did.
Yeah.
And that was, like, kind of crushing to me as a little kid. Like, am I doing something wrong?
Right.
Also, in Mormonism, there are quite a lot of things you could be doing wrong.
Sure.
There's a lot you're not supposed to
Yep.
do. So that, like, it's easy to feel shame or bad about anything.
Right.
You
Like,
did that
this
day.
isn't coming to me because I'm not doing X thing.
Right. So, but I really respected my parents. So I did follow the rules. I didn't drink in high school. I thought I was going to wait to have sex until I was married. Like, I was very much on that path. I didn't date until I was 16. I did like a boy, and he invited me to prom. And again, I was like, you're the worst parents ever. Because they were like, you cannot go to prom with a senior boy when you're a freshman. Oh. It's like the boobs again.
It was the boobs,
Remember the
man.
boobs?
Yeah, the power
Anyways,
of boobs.
but I had prayed that I would get boobs. And then, wow, did he deliver. And then, but I should have been a believer. I mean, wow. So, I liked boys. I liked older boys. And I loved attention. I'd always loved attention. But then when you, like, hit the point where you're like, oh, people are saying that I'm cute, I loved that. Yeah.
Right. So you weren't, when you got the boobs, you weren't like, I don't like that boys are sexualized.
Oh, no.
You were just like...
I was like, I bought a tank top at Brass Plum, and it is in my backpack because I'm not allowed to wear spaghetti straps to school. So I'm going to go into the bathroom. I'm going to leave my house in my shirt, and I'm going to go change. And the boobs are going to be
the,
out.
like, slow motion high school hallway walk
That's right.
with the wind blowing
That's
through
right.
your hair.
That's right. And
Did you have braces? Did you have braces at this point?
I did have braces.
That just makes
at
it
some point.
so much better.
I did have braces at some point. No, I probably got them off before high school.
Fine.
Yeah, I think I got
Fine.
them off.
Okay, so now you're in San Diego, surfer lifestyle there, or is this like, was your whole... There's lots of different parts of San Diego vibe-wise.
I mean, I grew up, I went to Torrey Pines High School, so it's like a very nice, affluent area. Definitely there is a surf culture there. We went to the beach all the time, but I wasn't.
You're giving surfer vibes today in this outfit.
Oh, I love this little quilted thing. But my life was just all theater. Like, it was just, that's all I wanted to do. I lived at that theater. I was there Friday nights. I was there Saturday mornings. And then they had like a more adult version. So then the kids who were pretty good would go do like the adult version, which was in East County in San Diego. And
which you were obviously doing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I met like my best friends who are still my best friends and who now are raising our children together in Studio City area.
Sweet.
So fun. But yeah, that was it. That's all I did.
So at what point were you making plans for what happens after high school?
Well, I was driving a Volkswagen convertible, a red Volkswagen convertible, around with an I Heart NY sticker. So I was like leaving San Diego and moving to New York immediately.
Yeah, you were getting out of here.
Yeah, I got to blow this place.
Yeah.
This horrible place called San Diego, which is so lovely.
Yeah, I know.
I was moving to New York for sure.
Now, no shade to San Diego whatsoever. However, I'm from Tampa.
Okay.
When I go to San Diego, it gives me Tampa vibes in the people. In the sense of like people who love to be outside, love outdoors. We're not going deep in our conversations. We're not going existential in our chats. It's very like, I think it has to do with the nice weather, honestly.
Very nice there, yes.
Whereas like I lived in England for a long time and people there, like, I think it's a weather thing, I think. But it's just like, there isn't that like connection immediately with people. There's no like sister in the struggle. It's just kind of like, it's a beautiful day here today.
Yes, I can see that. It's also a lot more boring than it is in LA.
Yes.
Like there's just, LA is such a wild place. You could be on your couch and the next night you're at some weird, I don't know, just a weird place. Cool stuff happens. And so San Diegans are always like, when? Because my husband and I went to high school together. So
wait, like, whoa. Pause.
Yes.
Is this the kid that asked you to prom? No, just kidding.
No. I only dated senior boys, so I waited until Charlie was a senior.
Stop. Okay. You and your husband met in high school.
Yes.
Let's get to that.
Okay.
What's the setup?
We're just buds. We were just buds in high school. And he's like very cute, but we're just friends. We're like in the same friend group.
Yeah.
Until we get to be seniors. And I think I knew that he liked me, which I was like, that's fun. I should kiss him, you know?
Right.
And then
throw him a bone.
I joke it was like my what's that in Clueless where she's like, I love Josh, you know? Yes. It was kind of that. I was like, wait, I remember walking down the quad. It was like the most quintessential like California high school, you know, all outside. We're walking down the quad, going out to lunch and getting the convertible. And I hear these like freshman girls talking about my now husband, like, oh my God, you know who said hi to me in the hall or like something. And they said something about Charlie. And I said to my friend Ashley, I'm like, our Charlie? Are they
my
about
Charlie?
Our Charlie? Like, yeah, my Charlie? Like just our friend? Like he's hot? Turns out he's very hot. He continued to be very hot and get better with age. So, but yeah, we met in high school, dated at the very end. And then we really tried to end it because we're like, we're not marrying our high school sweetheart. We're not even high school sweethearts. I mean, we are, but like
not
we've
really
been dating. Yeah, this whole time. But he went to school to play football at Rice.
Okay.
And then so we would call each other. He'd be like, how are the guys? I'm at theater school in New York. How are the guys? I'm like, so great. I mean, they're gay. Like there's no, what do you think I'm doing? They're the best.
Yeah.
And then I'd be like, how are the girls? And he's like, oh, Texas. Like it's so different than San Diego. He's like, so much makeup. And so, I mean, you know, it's a different thing. He's like, not really my style. And then we just like stayed best friends. So eventually I think we were like, well, we should just, this is so weird because we're not going to like break up our friendship. And then it's weird to talk about like, are you dating?
Right.
So then we were just like, let's just make this work until it doesn't. And then we just kept doing that.
And you're still doing that to this very day.
Yeah, we still do that every day. Yes. Let's make this work until it doesn't.
Yeah. So college football in Texas.
Yes. And then I was in New York and then he transferred to Georgetown. So then that was nice because we were a train ride away.
Yeah.
So we could do like,
easier,
you know, go see each other on the weekends. I feel like I went to Georgetown, which is really nice. It's a nice flex.
Yeah, it's a good flex. I know we have parties. We have some Georgetown listeners. So you guys, if you ever saw clearly a theater kid roaming among your like extremely serious ranks.
That's right.
She's here with us today.
That's it. And and then I moved to Tokyo. And then I was
whoa. Why are we moving to Tokyo?
Singing. I was singing, yeah. So I worked for Disney out there. And I was like, so we should break up now because this is dumb.
Because like now Japan's really far.
It's far, and like you should go fuck around. Like fuck around and find out. I don't know. Like you're a college football player, I imagine. Like just go do your thing. He's like, okay, well, are you gonna do that? I'm like, well, probably not again. Gays.
Japan.
Gays and Japan. So we've got like people who don't speak the same language, and so he's like, okay, and then when you come back, and I'm like, yeah, I've been sleeping with everybody. You're gonna be like, game on? Right. I'm like, well, no promises. I don't know how I'd feel. Yeah. And so then we're like, again, guess we'll just keep going until it doesn't work. We did like good morning, good night.
Oh my God. Oh yeah. My husband and I did that.
Yeah.
He LA to London for a long time. Yeah.
But yeah. So.
Wow.
High school boyfriend.
Shocking. And then how long are you in Japan for?
I'm there for a year.
Okay.
And then I moved back to New York.
Yeah.
And I do that for like another, just the auditioning, the like
grind.
Non-equity morning call. You'd like I worked at Cafe Lalo, which
I was just about to ask you. I know what that is. How are you making money? So we're waitressing.
Yeah, I'm the hostess, which is really fun because you really get to be a bitch.
I did that job too.
It's a good one. You're like, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
So I did that overnight. I would work overnight at Cafe Lalo. I'd go put my name on like a non-equity call list to be like the first one there. I'd go to a gym and shower because my house, obviously, whatever my shower situation was horrible. I was living with like a million girls.
Yeah, I was like in the kitchen.
You know? Yeah. So I was like, had a gym membership so I could shower.
Sure.
And then shower, go back to the audition, and then go nap later. It's crazy.
When you think about that period of your life now, are you just like, what?
Yeah. I mean, it was so fun and so exhausting and so serious. Like, I think we were all, even from like the jump of college, like I would go visit Charlie at Georgetown and that looked like debauchery. And we're talking about Georgetown.
Yeah.
Like I'd be like parties, you know?
Yeah.
But at where I went, it would be like, we'd be going to a martini bar. You know, we found like the one martini bar that didn't card. We're like,
100%.
we thought we were Sex in the City. Like we were like, hello. So
Totally.
It was just very serious and very like, we'd like go out, but not really because we had to sing the next day. So like we were pretty like straight laced in that way. Yeah, it was weird.
And then
And fun.
At what point do you and Charlie get back to the same place?
So when he graduates, we're like, we should live in the same city. He wasn't super interested in living in New York. So we were like, why don't we try LA? I'm more of a singer. At this point, I'm like, oof, I actually don't know if I want to do Broadway. Like even the end goal, I'm like, okay, you get that one day off. Like they don't make enough money for how much work that is. I just was like, I also didn't want to do a bunch of tours at that time. I was like, I think maybe I'll just go sing. So then I was like, let's move to LA. I can like be in a band or something. So that's what we did. So we moved here.
And what's he doing? Because he's graduated from college sports.
He's graduated and he's got like a job. I don't know. I think he's working at like a home health care.
Sure.
I don't know.
Jobby job.
Yeah, job. Entry job. And do you know the connection between Sam and I?
No. Oh wait, no, I do know this. Wait, okay, remind me. I don't exactly know. I just know that it involves a girl band.
Okay, so no, it's better than that. So Sam was in a band.
So Super Sam
was in a band. I don't want to say, I won't say what it is because then you're all going to look us up and you're going to see us being embarrassing in our
Might
20s.
put it in the show notes if I can find it.
So it was an all-Filipino hip-hop band.
Great.
That they like formed from their like USC, the guys in the band, like their USC Filipino frat, I guess.
Yeah.
So, and then Sam was the lead singer. And she's Filipino, right?
Yeah.
So then
oh my God,
so she's
I
like
did not
the
appreciate
of this band.
Sure.
And so then
not a girl band.
She leaves and they hold an audition for the new singer of this band. So I am now the lead singer of an all-Filipino hip-hop band.
Reader, the Mormon in the room.
Yeah, in case you can't tell by the Mormon, I am a white woman.
Yeah, like hard white.
Pretty white.
Not even like ambiguous
the
white.
whitest. Yeah, Mormons are very white. So anyway, so that was fun. So that's a wild, and I only reconnected with Sam about a year ago, and she didn't know that I knew her because I was like, I listened to all the tracks. I learned all the music that they wrote. Right. So like, it was always her voice.
What a mindfuck.
Right? And then turns out we're neighbors. Turns out we were like meant to be buddies. I mean, it's bizarre. But yeah, I sang with that band for a couple years.
Okay, now I 100% need to find this stuff, guys.
It's hilarious.
Okay, so now we are in LA. We're the front woman of a Filipino band. We are still scrapping it together. At what point do you decide this is like a grind and maybe I want to try and make money some other way?
We did it, honestly. I gigged for a long time. We started doing weddings because it's lucrative. Like that band.
Oh, the band. Okay.
Yeah, we were like, oh, we should, because that's where you make money. Everything else is like, you're a club promoter. You like, the only way for you to make money is you're making a cut of the bar.
Yeah.
And so you just like make sure people come to your shows. I don't know. It was fine. And then I think everybody in the band started to kind of like grow up. You know, I got married. I think people started to get married. We still would play occasionally. And then I was working at Lululemon in a store during the day to pay my bills.
Because we're selling clothes.
That's right. It's a great place to work. Like
folding leggings.
Yeah. And they give you credits to work out. Like you get a monthly allowance to go work out, which is genius because you're wearing the product and you're like out and about. And then, so after that, I left there and my husband opened a CrossFit gym in the Arts District. So I left Lululemon. I went and helped him do that. And I like coached and we ran that business. And then somebody at Lululemon who had like worked upstairs, which was like the HQ at the time as they were growing, called me and was like, hey, Erika, we might open a store in the Arts District. Can you like lead our team of, around? Because I feel like you know everyone there. I'm like, great, I'd love to like help you understand this neighborhood. And we were like early business owners in that. I mean, of course, it's been there a long time, but of the sort of like gentrification of
one of the many chapters of gentrification for that area.
Exactly. They've had a rough go to the post-pandemic and all that. But so we really did know everyone. I took this team around and it was like I had planted people. I'm like, this is the guy who runs the coffee shop. This is the guy who da-da-da. And so she called me later. She's like, so we're hiring this role, kind of like what you do, where we like localize. It was called the Maven because Lululemon has funny job titles, or used to.
That was a job title?
Yeah, it was the Los Angeles Maven. That was the job.
It sounds like you're gonna sell people for sex or something.
Right. Yeah,
well, no. Adam adjacent.
Yeah, no, wild. It's from a Malcolm Gladwell book. It's like tip of the spear, like you're the Maven of culture. Like who this brand should know on the ground. So. And then I went and worked out and I called her back and was like, wait, I think I'd like that. Could I have that job? I did not go to school for this. But I'd like to do that. And so then I started with Lululemon and I stayed there 12 years.
Wow.
Crazy. I was there in a time where you could just like, what if we did this? And what if we tried this?
And everyone was like, let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. So when I left, it was more red tape, more corporate, but great people there.
I, in my mind, imagine like a Zoolander type scene where like the Lululemon and the Aloe people get into like a yoga off.
Aloe. No, I still stand Lululemon. I'll try. I'll go to Aloe. I got one right here. I'm like, I'm going to try these clothes on. They don't fit right. They're not, I don't like them. Is this a Lululemon ad?
Yeah, I was about to say Lululemon sponsored by. You should. We love your thought leadership on this matter. Okay, so you're at Lululemon for a long time. Where do kids enter the picture for you guys?
So we get married at the Ace Hotel in like 2014. And a couple weeks later, I'm like at a bar with a friend. I'm like, I am so tired. I'm at a bar, mind you. I'm so tired. I'm so like, I don't know what's wrong with me. That wedding really took it out of me. Well, yeah, I was pregnant. So I got pregnant at my wedding at the Ace. And my older son's name is Ace. He probably won't like how this all comes to be at some point, but Ace is a great name. So
it's a strong name.
Yeah,
and all the better for having some deep meaning that he will one day hate you.
That's right. Just for a second. Yeah. So it was an accident and I was so bummed.
Yeah.
So bummed that Charlie was like, I guess we don't have to. I'm like, well, no, because that, I was just like, I wanted however many more years. 28.
Yeah.
28. I just wanted like a handful of more years to be like newly married.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then I had Wilder 4 years later. So yeah, I mean then we were in it. Then you're like, all right, we're doing it. We have kids now. So.
Have you ever? There's a lot of different approaches to thinking on like how many kids to have because you grew up in a big family. Were you ever like, I want to have a huge family?
I didn't want a huge family. No, I think 2 is a great number. I did want a girl, so we did toy around with the third. I was like, but then the window started to pass.
Yeah.
It's like a couple years ago and I had a miscarriage. And
where was that? Was that obviously had to be after Ace?
After Wilder. So it was like that for the girl. Like I was like, could this be the girl? And Charlie was like kind of game, but kind of not. You know, I was like, I don't. He was an only child, single mom. So like everything feels chaotic. He's like, this is wild. So 2 kids, 1 kid's crazy, 2 kids crazy. It's like So he didn't want to have more, but he also did want a girl.
Yeah.
And so and then I had a miscarriage, and then I was like, I think I'm just done. I don't want to do that again.
No.
I was a little older at this point, and I'm like, I just don't, this is too much.
Yeah.
Like, it was so easy the first 2 times because I was young and, it just happened.
Yeah.
It just happened. Now I watch my girlfriends, I'm like, it doesn't just happen.
Turns out like the moon has to be correctly positioned.
Insane.
Yeah.
So, we played around with it, and then, I didn't do the girl.
Wow, but that's so interesting because you guys came from very different backgrounds coming into your parenting journey.
For sure.
So when you do become parents, what is that experience like for you? Because you have this role model of a mom doing things in a certain way. 4 kids. She's like a probably oiled machine.
Yes.
And he's coming in with a mom who's doing both jobs,
Yep.
all the jobs.
Yep.
In a very different way. So were there things that kind of surprised you guys early on?
Yeah, I think so. I think sometimes like, well, he also didn't have parents together sharing the load, right?
Yeah.
Some of that was like him doing one thing and me doing another thing. I mean, we can just do this all together. I think there's like this sort of isolated parenting because that's how it was. It was him and his mom and, you know, she got it done. Also, he thinks I could do anything, which is very nice. But like sometimes I'm like, could you just come here? Like, could you help me? I'm sure I could jumpstart my car, but could you just come here and save me for 1 fucking second?
Yeah.
Because I think like his mom was such a badass. Like if the car needed to be, she did it. She did everything.
Yeah.
And she was great. She taught him like he did laundry. She was like, I'm going to make this boy be good at all the things that would be a good partner. So anyways, but she's a badass and and I can't even imagine. But yeah, I think just the difference between having 2 parents and like where we do this together is an adjustment for him and just like how he saw that all go.
And also I can imagine, and we can have him on another time because I'm sure it is just as a person coming into his own fatherhood trying to figure out what does it mean to be a dad and what do I want this to look like. He's really got a blank slate on that and making his own picture.
For sure. Yeah. And he's like so involved to coaches. You know the Little League game.
We know the Little League game.
Coaches, like it's a lot. He has a full-time job. He's like in charge of call-ups, so during the playoffs you can only call up kids from like younger leagues.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. You're talking about he's in charge of like a kid shit thing is what you're explaining to me right now?
At Little League specifically. Yeah. No, it's like a job. It's a job that you don't get paid for.
Sure.
And yeah, it's like a full, I think it's 20 hours. I'm like, what's happening? He's on phone calls. He's like, there's a lot going on. It's crazy. It's a full-time job.
I'm thrilled for him.
Me too. And honestly, like I don't really do sports.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, you guys go have fun and I'll be there later with a bottle of wine saying how cute your costume is.
Right.
Yeah.
How cute your costume is.
People be like, what's the score? I'm like, I'm not your girl. I don't
literally had the opposite of this last week. Our episode that came out last week, the Meg Duff episode, everybody. She's like, grew up, her dad was a professional baseball player. She played college basketball. And she's like, I guess if my kid's into theater, I'll sit at the sidelines.
That's right.
Like, she doesn't know what to call.
I'm like, is it intermission? The boys are like, that joke's not funny anymore, Mom.
You can text them to me. I will enjoy it.
Yeah.
So you guys, your world's a little rocked. Timing wasn't what you expected. You're still at Lululemon? I missed it.
Yeah, I'm at Lululemon through both kids. Great maternity leave. Good job, Lululemon. And then I leave. I mean, I was there a long time. I've only been away from Lululemon for like 3 years. This
is still relatively
had a couple
fresh
of shitty jobs.
Yeah.
And then I mean, it's just about working with nice people. Like,
I feel so strongly about that.
There's no reason to be an asshole.
There's no reason.
I don't understand. Like, work is always going to be a little stressful. You gotta, but like we could all just be nice to each other. And I think I was really spoiled from Lululemon. People were really nice. Canadian. They're kind.
Oh.
Yeah. Canadians are the best.
Yeah.
So just people are nice to each other. And then I had like a couple of like LA.
Yeah.
Woo! And that was not good.
I have a hard time understanding. And it's the same in partnership, right? It's like, and parenting. It's like, this is all hard. We could choose to be nice to each other in this moment while we're both pretty unhappy.
Yeah.
Or like be shitty to each other. And like sometimes the other thing happens, but then somebody has to be the one that's like, hey.
Yeah.
Let's reel it in.
Friends, right?
Yeah. We do.
We like each other.
At some point we liked each other.
Do you two travel a lot? Like, do you do any like no kids travel?
Actually, great question. We have traveled once since our son was born because he was a COVID baby.
Okay, yeah.
He's 4.5. The one time we went on a trip, I had a miscarriage.
Great. Fun. Really fun.
So Cabo is ruined for us. We will never go back. No. Fuck Cabo.
Yeah, not that fun.
But it is something that we really want to do. Yeah. We talk about doing a lot. Part of it is how is his mom and your parents in terms of with taking care of the
We're
kids.
very, very lucky. They're both just like so on it. Yeah, so they come and take care of the kids.
That's the thing is like my mom is amazing, and my youngest one you saw, 18 months old, she can't do them by herself. She's kind of who we've got.
Yeah.
We have an amazing support system. And so it would just like the mental gymnastics. It's not like, oh, grandparents come and we leave. It's just the gymnastics.
Yeah, it's a lot.
That being said, it's on the list for this summer.
Yeah. We were on a vacation years ago, and I think this was like Wilder was a baby. Like we had left little kids at home, and we were somewhere, and there was like a couple who was probably 10 years older than us. They had teenagers, and we had like made friends with them at the pool or whatever. And they were talking about how they're like, you pay insurance for everything, for your car, for your, everything, your house, and vacations alone with your significant other are marriage insurance.
I love that.
I really like take that. I feel like it's so, you just kind of forget, especially in the like slog of like early parenthood.
Yes.
And you're like, it goes from that to like, now we're in just wild logistics every day. It's like, so you grab and you take him and then I take him and I'll do this. But like to then be together and be like, oh we have fun together. We like each other.
You still like find your husband hot and are really into him. I can tell.
Yeah, he is. I mean, objectively he is. He's very nice looking. But yeah, and but I do forget I like him.
Yeah.
And then we're together like, oh yeah, we're buds. Like, this is so fun. And then that kind of like reset us for going back into the battlefield that is parenthood.
We've been talking about like recently. Honestly, you posted this thing, it was a couple of weeks ago, and it just won't go out of my head, this thing about the hobbies, which we're gonna have to talk about. This thing of like adults need hobbies and parents need hobbies. And this in conjunction with my therapist recently asked me like, what do I do to relax? And I said, I go to the gym, and she was like, that's not relaxing. It's important, but it's not like resetting in a certain way. So I've been on this journey of like, well, what do I like? I don't remember. And I'm trying to remember what those things are. I like cooking, and so that works out for everybody.
Yeah.
But like, what do I used to travel a lot extensively.
Yeah.
That's harder to do right now.
Sure.
So like, what are the localized hobbies I like? And then I was like, well, what do my husband and I like to do together? Last night we tried watching Black Mirror. Oof. And I was like, this is incredibly stressful. This is stressful. And he was like, what do we like to do together anymore? And I was just like, I feel confident there's something that we like, but
I'm honestly less worried about what we like to do together and more what I like to do as a mom, as a human being outside of being a mom.
Because you have vacation insurance.
We have vacation insurance, and like, we like doing most of the things we do together, even if they weren't what we would, we're at the Dodger game. I mean, he likes sports, but like we're at the Dodger game with school. I mean, it's still fun. Like I like a michelada.
She can find a good time.
We didn't get there, but clearly, because I like to drink. But I think that, so I definitely early on carved out working out. Like, I think that's a good start. Like, that starts to make you find that time back. It is still something. You're like, okay, I got to find this hour, and I'm going to work out.
Yeah.
And I'm going to leave a crying baby with somebody. It's fine. It'll be fine. But then as I got older, it's just like, oh, what do I like to do? Obviously, I liked to sing and to dance and to do all of those things when I was a kid. But you know what? The hardest part about it is that like being not great at something as an adult is so embarrassing.
I feel as
but
you
why?
As
why?
you know
why?
from the story I told you.
Right. But like, but why? If you're a beginner at something at whatever age, be a beginner. Like,
first of all, Broadway Dance Center, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something.
BDC for those who know.
Let me tell you something. If you're going to say a class is for beginners, can you put an asterisk under it saying beginners if you're already a professional motherfucking dancer?
That's right. They call it LA beginner here at Millennium, which is like, no, you're not a beginner. You spent your entire life dancing and now you've come back to dance.
Please, for the love of Christ, because you have people like me, 5'10", haven't worked out in God knows how long, loafing around, can't remember what she had for lunch, and I have to remember choreography in French.
Oh my God.
It's just it's not fair.
Yeah. That's hard.
Yeah.
But yeah. So then I started, Ace started dancing, and then we moved here to the Valley during COVID. So then I was like, oh, Millennium's up the street. Amazing. And they have kids classes. And then I'd be sitting there waiting, and I'd like look in a class. I'm like, oh, I love to dance. Could I do that? And so started finding like a community there too. Like you take, like now I have all these other friends, moms or like 20-year-olds who are still in it and aspiring to do, and I'm just there for fun. And it's really like, I think the community in an adult hobby is so fun. And then just like finding that time to be like, oh, I like that, or I feel like myself. My husband is into like pottery, like started making bowls, like
that's on my maybe list. Yeah, that's just on my maybe list.
And then he goes to the studio and he listens to a like, it's just, I think that time that isn't taking care of a kid, isn't working out, because working out, I mean, dance is also kind of working out, but that again is like so, just like for nothing.
Yes.
Like, what's the point of this? So me and a friend, we were talking about dance and how fun it's been to find this community. I was even in like a show. I did a show. I made my family come to a show.
She's still making her family come to her shows.
Oh no. My son's in the audience like, oh mom. And I'm like wearing all jean outfit. I'm in a costume. Wow. Okay. So anyways, but
I'm going to need a picture of that for the show.
It was so fun and joyful, and I messed up, and like, who cares?
Who cares?
It was so fun. And then I was like, the bummer is that because I'm not religious anymore, I couldn't find a place to sing. And like, singing is an instrument, and it's a muscle. And so if you don't practice it, it does go away. So then me being like someone who was identified as like, Erika, she sings, she's got big boobs. Also, my boobs are gone too now. So
I was about to say, you're not like, this isn't a crazy.
No, it's the, the breastfeeding and now they need to be in a bra. That's what I'll tell you.
I feel you, sister.
They need to be in a bra, and they're smaller.
I feel you.
But yeah, so then me and a friend were like, okay, what if we started just a choir that's just for fun?
You started the choir?
Yes. So it's a secret choir for people who know people who like to sing. And it's been incredible. Half of it is like, because we live in LA, is people who actually do that for a living. And it's been interesting because for them, it's like the no pressure, the just like singing with a group. And then like, leaving that song, and you don't need to work on that later, like just for fun with people. And then there's a whole other group of us who it's like someone's a meditation teacher and but we were all singers at some point. Like, I'm a corporate girl.
Hashtag not for real beginners.
Also not for real beginners. It's not fun to, honestly, at Millennium, there are people in there who really can't dance, all levels. There's like 90-year-old women. It is amazing. It's an amazing community. Truly, if you can't dance, you could still go. For singing, it's not so fun to sing with people who can't sing in harmony, right?
100%.
So, I mean, karaoke, you could do karaoke, but I think, yeah, it's important that everyone there
just for the record, I am never going to karaoke with you in my life. Absolutely not.
I actually don't love karaoke because I really feel like it's more for
me.
Yeah.
It's for us.
That's right. Correct. But then I do have a couple drinks and I'm like, oh, let me do something.
Everybody shut the fuck up. I'm going to perform for you.
Why are you not listening? At the bar.
Oh, that is so cool. Do you know Chris Mann? Have you ever come across Chris Mann?
So Chris Mann's wife and I worked in that Lululemon store when we were little kids, when we were in our 20s. So I only know her. I only know him from like continuing to follow. We haven't stayed friends, but like,
he's a Mother Life alum,
and he's a real singer.
And he's a singer.
Job.
And I'm gonna tell him about your choir.
Oh, he would 100% should come. Yeah, it's
I'm
incredible.
gonna tell him about it.
Yeah, and it's like
when he came on the pod, we were just talking about the like midlife crisis of it all and the balance of like finding the time for yourself. And I feel like Chris,
that's right.
We're gonna get you.
We
in
have
a super
so
secret
many
choir.
People in there that. And crazy stuff happens because, again, it's LA. So, like, one of the first songs we learned in harmony was Unwritten by Natasha Bedingfield. And then, of course, someone knows her. So then a couple weeks later, she comes. She's like, I'm going to come. She's like, she's flipping through the thing. She's like, wait, why don't we sing this one? It's her song. So then we're singing Unwritten with fucking Natasha Bedingfield. I mean, it's been, people who have stopped by have been, it's insane because LA. But then there also is this community of people that just come, we bring, people bake bread and everybody brings wine. And it's like, we sit around for 2 hours and sing. It's the best.
How are you doing all of this?
I'm doing too much.
Erika.
Too much is happening.
How? Because you also do have a full-time job. We didn't even get to that, but you started to do the quick version. You started your own agency, basically providing the service that you were doing in-house at Lululemon because you're good at people and you're good at community.
Yep.
You start doing this for other brands.
Yep.
You move over to Tubby Todd.
Yeah.
Which this is a parent.
That's a good, now this is the advertisement I'm here for because yes, Tubby Todd and talk about nice people. Like, it's such a good fit because the people are so kind and the product is so good. So yeah, I'm there.
We're very open to sponsorship. Just give me a call. Thought leadership.
That's me. I'm in charge of partnerships.
Okay, Erika, we're very interested in partnerships. Give me a call, okay? But that is, we need to contextualize the Erika that loves hobbies, because we have, and I'm not even gonna call them hobbies. I am gonna call it, for you specifically, passions, because somebody else who left a certain kind of dream on the table, especially that big one, and pivoted to do something else, like that's grief. That could be grief. That's hard, right? Yeah. But you, I mean, that could have also been very hard.
Sure.
We're like, I'm going to make a choir. I'm going to find these things.
But only now that I'm almost 40. So there were definitely years where I was like, what happened? Like, I failed, or I didn't do the thing that anybody that would have met me would be like, oh, she didn't make it. Or like, obviously it was very clear what I wanted to do. Yeah. Whether or not I chose not to do that, because I didn't end up wanting what I thought I wanted. Yeah. Still did feel like a failure. And I am not religious, but like I had a natural talent that now I was not using at all. So I'm like learning how to do marketing and like, in real time. But then I had this thing on the shelf that's like, guess you'll never do anything with that. Yeah. My kids are like, stop singing, put on Eminem. And I'm like, I got paid.
Yeah. You don't know who you're talking to.
I will do a performance for you in the car.
Yeah. And I will make you come to my dance recital.
That's right. And you'll come to my show. But yeah, I think it's helped just fill that. And that isn't what I want to do with my life anymore. Yeah. I'm very happy in the career that I'm in. I feel like I found myself in a different way, and I like where I'm at, but it was really important to keep that on somewhere. Like, I love to take a dance class.
Do you think the reason why you're able to have these hobbies now is because your kids are at a different, you're kind of at the next chapter. How old are they?
They're 7 and 11.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think that's part of it, is like, you hit a moment where it was like, okay, I can now make this space again?
I was talking to a girlfriend who's in New York. She's my college roommate, and she has, I guess her daughter's 2. And she's like, I see everything you're doing, and it's like, I want to. I'm like, it's hard right now. I just think when they're little, it's just kind of survival. And even though you have a great co-parent, it's like asking a lot to leave. Like now I can leave. Actually, now we can leave our kids at home. Like we can just both go do something and come back, and the kids are still zombies on their on whatever they're playing online. You know? So they definitely can take care of themselves. Yeah, it's such a fun age. But I think it's fun. And I can take care of myself because I'm like,
I think that's such an important distinction and thing to hear, because when you look at somebody in a snapshot of their life and you're not in that same chapter, you don't appreciate that they also had the pause of the things that they want to do. Yeah. So when you see somebody like Erika with her 5,000 hobbies and her full-time job, and somehow kids who are also doing a bunch of stuff, and she still loves her husband, all these things at the same time, you just have to say, oh, I know it's coming for me. Like, I know I'm going to get there.
Yes. And I would push back to say, like, could you find an hour a week? Just to start, so that you start, whether that's like, maybe it's even like I'm in a book club and I go once a month. Yeah. And it's like, I have that to look forward to, or I go to pottery once a week for an hour, just like scheduling the time. Yes. Because that's the thing. It won't happen. Like every Sunday I'm like, oh, how am I going to get to choir? Like somebody's at baseball, someone's at a travel game. And it's been like, I put it in the shared calendar. Again, my calendar
She's got a fucking
wild.
Share. I would love to see. I bet
that saved my marriage.
Do you have a shared calendar?
Yeah. Do you have a shared calendar?
We have one on our wall, like a physical paper one. Yeah. Because my husband, despite being young, is ancient in his soul. Yes. But yeah,
the shared calendar, and then
I have a Google one. He just doesn't look at it.
And then the fact that I don't own everything. So like if it's sport, we just split it. It's like, if it's sports, you own it. If things change, that has to change in the calendar. And the address should be in there so I know where I'm going. I do the same for all school. I own school stuff. He owns sports. Then also, he owns doctors and I own dentist. And so it's just like, because I started feeling
Dentists would be very outraged that they're not in the doctor category.
They are. Scrub-wearing individuals, look. But no, he has to book all of their appointments, and I do, but then share it in the calendar. Because otherwise it's like, I cannot. I have too many hobbies. I've got too many hobbies.
She's having fun, though. She's like the smiley.
We're supposed to learn how to play mahjong. Me and my girlfriends. But then I'm like, when am I going to go to mahjong?
That I can do. I guess I have that. I do like a weekly maj.
That's great.
More or less weekly. Some weeks,
it's so cool. I feel like all the cool girls.
I will happily teach you guys how to play. Which, if my friends from Mahjong are listening, they'll laugh because I am 100%. I mean, I win a couple of times. Last week I won twice, but I am definitely there for the hang.
Yes.
Like, everyone's like, pass me your tiles or whatever. And I'm like, so, and then what did they say?
Well, our group of friends is very into the game Spades. And
oh my God, I haven't played that in a million years.
It's so fun, but it's not a hang game. Like, you really kind of have to be in it.
Yeah.
And then everyone's competitive. So I've sort of like, I saw myself out of that game because I'm like, I'm just here to hang out. If I'm here with my friends, I'm not going to be so into this game that I can't talk to you.
Yes.
But they love spades. A lot of spades. It's like, that's all we did all COVID.
Okay. Well, we can get Mahjong on your calendar in the sense that we play after the kids go to bed. It would be obviously different. Your kids are older, but like, and we just do for an hour. Like, some people will go and do like a 4-hour thing. They're ordering in dinner. You can do a whole thing like that, but we'll do like an hour, hour and a half. Somebody usually brings a treat.
Fun.
That's
fun.
It. Yeah.
I like it.
But she's got more hobbies. I'm so sorry to your family for adding something else.
He has hobbies too, though. That's it. Like, he's got things he's doing too.
So what are you guys fighting about in your house?
Oh my God, good question. What are we fighting about? Logistic, like missed. Honestly, even though we share a calendar, it's still like, if things are, what do you mean? I'm picking them up and you're doing this, or, but we're in a good flow now, I think. We fought a lot more when the kids were little, or like I felt, it's a lot of tit for tat. Like, I did this but you did this. And we still do that a little bit about like the dishes or the laundry, or like, because we both work, I'm like,
do you both
all shared?
Do you go to an office?
No, I work from home.
Does he go to an office?
He has a gym, but he works from home. He's around.
He has a gym. Is he still doing CrossFit stuff?
No, he's a trainer. Yeah, he does a bunch of things, but yeah, he has a
multi-hyphenate
over here. Yeah, he's a multi-hyphenate. Yeah. So yeah, we're both home.
Okay. Yeah, because I think we are as well. I think sometimes the ambiguity of both people being home almost makes it harder, because it's like everybody's expectations are that the other person can pick up the thing or whatever when something does fall through the cracks.
Yes.
And then it's like, then all of a sudden it becomes a like value judgment on whose time is more valuable.
That's a real thing. Yeah. And it's like, and for me, I'm like, well, I'm working this, and he's like, well, I was up at 5 a.m. It's like, those are the things that happen. And then we try to get back to it. Like, we're just trying. And I keep thinking about like outsourcing. I want to have somebody come in and fold all our laundry.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then Charlie will be like, well, that's ridiculous. I'll do it. I'm like, but will you? Neither of us want to fold the laundry.
Yeah.
That's the one. I hate that chore so much. And it just like, there's so much laundry and sports, and like, I don't want to be doing that ever. Yeah. There's not a night. I used to be like, okay, I'm going to have a glass of wine and watch a show. I don't want to do the laundry.
I remember a long time ago, there was a Queer Eye episode, the reboot, that I saw, and this mom was like clearly very overwhelmed. Their house was sort of a mess, relatable, and they were hiring somebody to come do their laundry every week. And the Queer Eye guys were like, no, it's because your laundry room, you don't want to be in here. It's too overwhelming. We're going to redo this space and da-da-da. And at the time, I didn't have kids. Now that I have kids, I'm like, let her fucking outsource the laundry.
I know. I really wanted to be this girl. So our washer broke recently, and I like subscribed. I was like, I know there's a place that'll pick up my laundry and deliver it. Yeah. So I did that for like 24 hours. It's so ridiculously expensive.
Oh yeah, because it's by weight.
But I wanted to be that. I'm like, that's goal. I'm going to put that on. I'm going to make enough money. That is going to be me, because it was so nice. It all came back, and like in New York.
Yes.
Fluff and fold.
And fold.
It's the dream.
It's
the dreamiest thing. I do have lots of laundry to fold at home right now. I do love it.
That could be a hobby, speed folding.
Yeah, I have a friend who times herself.
It's just not going to be me.
I also, because I would wear my Bala bracelets, and then I'd be like, it's a workout. Like, I've tried everything. I hate it.
She's trying to maximize.
Turns out.
I realized there's one thing that we didn't get to, but you've alluded to a couple of times, which is leaving the church.
Oh yeah, I know. Yes.
I feel like this is, and Mormonism's very hot right now. We're very interested. We've got that reality show about the Mormon chicks.
Wives, yeah.
Mormon wives. And then also we have Real Housewives of Salt Lake. Like, there's a lot of...
Those are not like the Mormons I knew growing up, though.
Right.
That seems... There's a lot more modesty is a thing in the Mormon religion. So I'm like,
Mormonism's had a glow up. Also, another niche corner of TikTok is like where they interview BYU students.
Yes. My parents went to BYU. They met there.
Did they soak? Don't answer that.
I don't
but
know.
like there's all sorts of terms that I did not know that I
Yeah.
know now about like how the young people in the Mormon church fraternize.
Yeah. That was my first home, was married student housing at BYU, because that's a thing. Because
Wow.
if you're in college, they're like, yeah, have a baby.
Wow.
Yeah. But so I never really, like I said, I never really believed it, I guess. And that made me sad. I was very involved. I went to church every morning. I also very early had a lot of gay friends. And there was a point for a long time, and my parents agreed with this, like for a long time, the church didn't really like have a stand politically. It felt, and then it started to go a certain way that is pretty far away from what I'm very left. It just like didn't feel right, and always have been like that. So the idea that like all of my favorite people,
There was something wrong with them.
I couldn't, or like even in Mormonism, you could be gay, but you just can't be like a practicing gay.
Right. You can have like impure thoughts, but just don't do anything about it.
Do it. So yeah, that part was hard for me. And then I just really like didn't believe it. And then, I mean, for my Mormon family and friends, if they listen, I'm sorry. But also like, I have the internet. So I just like, did some searching on like the actual, and I just am like, I don't think this is real. So I didn't believe in it early. And I was the first of my family. And then I went to college, and in New York, there's a singles ward. So it's like there's a regular church, and then at a certain time, only the singles go at this time. It's like a meat market.
Yeah.
And I hated it. I had a boyfriend. I just like didn't like the scene. It didn't feel right. I didn't love it. And so I told my parents, like, I'm not going to go. They were like, you have to go to church. We're paying for your college. You have to go to church. And I was like, I'm not going to go. So what? And they were like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
And then I was like, and I actually am not going to be Mormon anymore. Like I don't, and they're like, yeah, we're not surprised. They tried for like 1 second to say, yeah, they're not going to pay for my college. And then they were like, yeah, we know that you aren't. I had like a lot of questions growing up. Like I would get in trouble. They would tell my parents like, she has a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Like, well, yeah.
You would have made a great Jew. We love asking questions.
I love the Jewish faith and Jewish humans in general. I'm very drawn to them.
Yeah, you would have, I mean, like literally the stories you get told at like Jewish Sunday school are like, you're supposed to question and ask questions, and if it doesn't make sense, like interrogate that. It's
less of that grow in my experience, and maybe it's different now, but in my experience,
I think there's a lot of Mormons right now questioning things on the TV.
Yes, and then I was the first one out. Then my brothers are different. Like one of my brothers is very similar to me. So he had the same sort of like, he's going to argue. He doesn't agree. He's going to look it up. And the other one is just like peaceful and sweet and nice. And it's like, what do you mean we're the only ones going to heaven?
Right.
Heaven. All the people in India aren't going to the top heaven. And then my little sister was just a brat. She was like, I don't want to hang out with these people. Like, don't make me go. A lot of forced friendships.
So have they all left?
They've all left, and my parents.
Wow.
Yeah. So I guess it's probably been, I don't know, 15 years, 10 years now that they have not been Mormon, but they were living in Boston. They were like my mom. They were both way up there in the church. Wow. And there's a lot less Mormons in that area. So it's like they were pinnacle in their church. My dad wrote like a manifesto about like how they were done. My dad's whole thing was that he thought there was a way to take the good from it and sort of live in the gray on the like beliefs and the, all the rules and all the things. He's like, you could kind of be somewhere in the gray. Yeah. And then he's like, no, you can't. So then he was like, it's black and white, and I don't fit into that, and we don't believe it anymore. And me and my mom have had our names taken out of the records. You had to find somebody to like do that. All the rest of my family is like inactive. They haven't been to church. They can still find them. Like we always joke, like, oh, they found you. They found my one brother. They're like knocking on their door. Oh my God. And so, but me and my mom had our names taken out. I just like, it's silly, but I'm like, but it doesn't, a lot of those beliefs really are like not what I believe. And so I'd never want someone to like look back and be like, oh, that's interesting. She was Mormon. Like after I was dead, and be like, oh, that tells me something about her. Right. So me and my mom went a little more, she's not as much anymore. She went a little more like anti for a bit. Yeah. She like not lost her life. She loved her life, but like she didn't have like that early 20s experience. No. She was like, she had me at 21 and wow. Yeah. So, but
were you, you must have been so proud of them. Yeah. Like old dogs can learn new tricks. Like it's.
Well, I think the other thing is that if you're Mormon and your kids leave the church, then you would believe that you wouldn't be with them in the afterlife. And so for my parents, I think that was a hard one to swallow because they're like, but Erika is good. Like everything's good. She's not like, she hasn't fallen off the deep end. She just doesn't believe in this religion.
Yeah.
And so for the idea that they would be like, oh, bummer, guess we lost one.
Right.
So when they left, yeah, it's been really interesting. It's so funny. My mom, she like called me. This is like very early on. She's like, Erika, do you know that they sell these tiny little bottles of alcohol? And you could buy one and then you could go to the movie theater and you could like pour that in your Diet Coke.
Oh my God, I love her.
Like, yeah, Mom, let's go.
Micheladas for Mom.
Right. So yeah,
I love that.
It's been nice. And it's been nice. Just, I mean, our grandparents are the ones who are with us are still Mormon, and lots of our extended family and all my mom's girlfriends from college who are amazing. Like they're all still Mormon. But it's been nice to like have that shared experience as a family, as like a unit. To be like, okay, we aren't doing that anymore. And we have so many, like, I loved growing up Mormon. Like I really...
Yeah, it doesn't sound like you guys had like a big drama that happened. It just sounds that you all sort of went on your own pretty like intellectual, reflective journey and just made a decision.
Yeah.
Which honestly is kind of a testament to how you were raised by your parents rather than the church, in the sense of like, they did support you doing theater. They did support your interests in a way that made you feel seen outside of this like very rigid framework.
Yeah. I knew what I was like supposed to be doing, and that's very much backed up in church every day before school, every day. So much church. I went to enough church. Honestly, between the ages of like birth and 18, I went to enough church for a whole lifetime. So I'm set.
You're good.
I'm all set.
Do you guys sort of celebrate anything at home with the kids?
We do, but we're like atheists.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would be for a while. I'd be like, I think we're agnostic, but we're definitely like, we actively do not believe. And the boys,
we actively do not believe.
That's right. It's interesting raising kids though, because we have very dear friends who are very Christian, and you know, like the kid friends talk to each other, and our kids are like, "What? Who's Jesus?" And I'm like, "Oh my God."
There's a lot.
My poor grandpa.
Yeah.
He would hate that. But yeah, it's interesting. I'm like, would I be okay with them going to church with a friend? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because like the indoctrinate, like church is so fun. That's the point, you know, like you get donuts and you make friends and then you want to keep going. And but they definitely know that we don't believe that and that our friends do. And that if it makes people
What do you
happy,
do around
that's
Christmas?
Good. We celebrate, Santa.
We celebrate presents.
We celebrate Santa, and same with all the things. It's all the
the Hallmark holidays.
Yeah, we do those. We do all the holidays in a big way. I'm like very fucking festive.
By the way, does that surprise literally anybody?
Like my house is decorated. If all I want to do is move to a house that's on like Magnolia or somewhere that's like very like prominent.
Wait,
so
dare I say somebody can see you?
I live at the end of this cul-de-sac. My house is like the fucking nightmare before Christmas on Halloween. It is decorated. It's so intense.
We'll
put in my life savings. Yes, please walk by, please. And yeah, so we go hard on festivities, and just like spending time together, having traditions, making cocktails, like all of the things that are fun with family, but definitely no like religious stuff in there. I want to add more give back. Actually, somebody told me I need to go to a JCC on
Jewish Community Center
Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Because they've organized good mitzvahs.
Yeah.
Right? Is
yeah.
saying
Oh
right?
my God. Yeah.
So
good deeds.
All I want to do is be Jewish. Okay.
I'm sure we could probably arrange that. I'm sure you have friends in your community that know all about what that's like to go through that process.
That's right. But I want to add on, because we don't have the religious foundation for the boys. I want to make sure that we do add like now that they're old enough and that they can like, they see, when they're little, you're just getting through. But now that they could like, I carry protein bars in my console so that I can give them to homeless people. Like now that they're taking things in, I think it's important to like tie holidays, especially big gifty holidays.
Yes.
Getting all this shit. Like, let's go do something nice for someone.
Yeah.
So
I like that.
Those are the traditions that I hope to start to build a little more.
And now this will be, I guess this can be the last question. Oh my God, I'm having too much fun.
It's so fun.
Okay. My last question is, now your career has had a bunch of different chapters in it. Mm-hmm. We're talking CrossFit gym, then we're a corporate girly, And then we become an entrepreneur doing our own business. Now we're back in the corporate world. And all throughout this, you have these boys growing up in the background. And they're not only watching you professionally, they're watching you pursue the things that you care about. Do you feel like the parenting side has informed how you want your career to go?
Yes. Yeah, I think after I left Lululemon, which, like I said, it was balanced. We were traveling a lot. Like, I traveled quite a bit for work. But like, if I needed to say to somebody, like, I really can't go, it's my kid's 6th grade play or something, that would be acceptable. I then went somewhere that was very not that. And in fact, like, I had an employee work for me tell me that, like, she'd rather people not know she was a mom. Because she didn't know how that would help her career there, which I should have known immediately, like, this ain't a good place. And then in that job, I was traveling. It's like, it's okay to travel if you have that planned as a mom. Like, I know right now that I'll be in Chicago at the end of this week, and I've known that for a long time. So my husband and I have been able to work that out, and it doesn't add stress in that way. But I've had jobs that have been like, oh, next week I have to be in New York. And it'd be like, because the CEO says so, it's just like this like fear-based life. And that was really like, I was gone for 10 days at a time, and my kids, especially the little one, is like, no, I hate this. Like, I don't want you to be gone this much. I'm missing. And I worked in an office. I had a job in LA that was in an office that was like very just like, we're here because we're here. Like, I don't know, just that lifestyle where it's like, you don't leave until your manager leaves, and like all these weird things. And so it's like missing a game, like my kid would have like a game at 4:45. I could not make it because I couldn't leave the office till 7.
Yeah.
What? So I think now that I've been able to, at this point in my career, to really take control of like the non-negotiables for me. Like it's very common in our shared calendar for my boss to have like Adriana at school play, or like me working a morning shift in the classroom. Like that is very acceptable. And we all like get our jobs done. It's not. So I think as I've gotten older, I think these years are so fleeting. Like my kids still want me to go to their games. My son is like tweenish. Like that's going to change. Like he isn't going to care as much. And like they look out there and want to see their mom. And I'm like, yeah, I want to be here. I don't want to be on a business trip that often. Sometimes I'll miss games. Like it's fine. I have a career, but I feel like it really helped me prioritize where I want to be right now. And even like, who knows, maybe there'll be a job down the line that I'll travel again a ton, but this was not the time to be traveling in the way that I was.
Yeah.
Like, and for those who can do it, like I have mentors and people who manage it in a beautiful way and it works for them. It just like didn't work. It felt bad in my body. Like, I was just like, oh.
No, totally. I mean, I think, and the reason why I ask is I do think that nuance is important. We've had a lot of people on the pod who have had like very stark career changes after they have kids. We've had people who have like started a new business as a consequence of having kids. But I also think it's important to make the point that like when you have kids, what you want as an employee and what kind of employer you want becomes really different, and the things that you value become really different.
Yeah.
And, as people continue to move around their career ladders, like when you go in for an interview, it's just like an important reminder that now you're interviewing your employer for a whole new set of things.
I know. And I think as anything in a career, you learn so much from your younger self. You really do know the questions to ask.
Yes.
Like I've had a couple shitty jobs that just did not work for being a mom. And so I think, especially right now, like I want to be able to like hang out in the cul-de-sac. I also, there were times I would go to the baseball games, but I had to have my laptop. Like, cause I gotta work. I gotta be working.
Yeah.
And so now it's like, no, I can take that time. And do I work late at night sometimes?
Sure.
Yes. I go back home and I've been at a school play earlier. And so I have to go catch up at night after the boys are in bed or whatever. And that's fine. Not every night, but I just think finding, again, it just comes back to like people with good values, working for people who have similar values, or working with, whether that's like your own thing and you have partners, or you're working for someone, like people who really know what's important.
100%. Well, I'm so looking forward to people hearing this episode. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. It was so fun.
Team, I need your help. If you love it here, please like and leave a review on your favorite podcast platform. Subscribe to the Substack for full access to this episode's show notes and join the discussion. And of course, follow me on Instagram at Mutha, MUTHA.life for a daily look at all things Mutha. Thanks for listening. Be sure to tune in next week for another Chat in the Closet. This This podcast was produced by Mother Life, music by Ronan Landa. See you next time.